Okay. We are back in action and we are recording, and you can see my screen, and it's Friday, so nothing to be sad about, right? We have a good long weekend ahead of us. All right. So let's get into this a little bit here. Now, when anyone starts ClickCoach, it looks a little intimidating. If you were to think about the screen, the only functional parts of the screen are the top and the left side. Everything else down here, these are all training videos, and they're pretty good. We update them as regularly as we can in terms of we change features. Sometimes it lags a few weeks, but we keep the videos up to date. And so I welcome you, particularly if you've never done it before. The getting started, getting set up video is probably the most viewed video of all. But you're here with me, so you don't need that video right now. Let's start where I always ask people to start, and that's with the profile settings. So again, in terms of organization, ClickCoach is a database effectively, and it's a specialized database with a lot of very specialized tools for you to customize and manage your business. So when we go under this menu here, it should have your name, your company name. Well, this is all about you. This is you and your company. Now, if you have multiple coaches, you're going to be able to add as many coaches as you want. And of course, those cost extra. But the bottom line is that everything about you and this company and your subscription are here. So the first place we're going to go is edit profile settings. And I'm not going to explain any of the setup screen because it's pretty intuitive, but the parts that I will are the parts that are not. So the very first decision you have to make is, do you want to enable the client portal for all your clients? So if you say yes, then every time you send homework, it's going to create a login for your client. They're going to log into their private client portal. The client portal is white labeled. It still says powered by ClickCoach, but it's white labeled. And therefore, your brand and your logo are all that should notice. After that, we have to deal with accountability questions. Now, if you've never used accountability questions, you can just ignore this, but I keep it so I do allow my clients to select, but not to edit. I don't want them editing the questions. So I really want to keep the integrity of the questions. The other thing that we have to decide here are what do we want the 3 buttons that are customizable to do? Now, we have the client portal has 3 buttons on it that you can program any way you want. Just draw, and if you want to do it, you just click that link, you enable the button, you choose an icon, and you put up a URL right there, and that button will go right to that URL. Next is which of these 2 designs fit you, fit your business, fit your client base. A few people like this one, and that's why it's there. Most people choose this one. It's more modern looking and kind of business looking. Finally, there's customization of terminology. You can call your coaches anything you want, and you can call your clients anything you want. Time zone is obvious. And now these next few decisions are kind of important. So if you are a single coach organization, then always leave this as yes. If you are a multi-coach organization, I suggest you say no. So, Lauren, do you have a question?
Sorry, I was late logging in. I was on the wrong page. Where are we? Like, what tab are we in?
Okay.
What page are you on in terms of the demo here?
I'm right here under Edit Profile Settings.
Edit profile settings. Thank you. That's what I
Okay. By the way, that was great. Thank you for interrupting and asking the question. And I encourage anybody to do the same. You don't have to be as polite. Just shout out, image, and I'll stop and talk to you, whatever you need. All right, getting back to this. Here's some very cool stuff. You can actually get your clients to give your coaches feedback, and you can customize the duration of time between the homework and the feedback. I'm sorry. You can set that up any way you want right here. I always say yes. I always say send me the email as well. Now you have reminders. There's 3 reminders available, and you could use them any way you want. It says homework reminder, accountability question reminder, or stats goals reminder, but you could change the language and call them whatever you want, and you could set them at 2, 3, and 5 days, whatever you want. It's completely customizable. Next, of course, is obvious. You choose the color, your color, and you could plug in your, I forget what that code is called, the color code. Does anyone know? what they call those codes? They used to know.
Voice hex codes. Yeah.
Okay, so you can plug in your code and it will pull up exactly the color you want, and then you upload your logo. And you have taken the biggest and first step in customizing your installation. Now, before I move on, questions? Any questions? Anything I said or went over that you didn't understand fully? And go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no. Yeah. Sorry about that. No, I was just questioning on the 3 buttons, like what you
Yeah.
want the 3 buttons to do. Is that something that, like, if you wanted to add more buttons to that profile or anything like that, that you could do, or is that just how it works? Or
This is just how it works for now. I mean,
Okay.
it's always so anybody who's been with me over the last 5 years with this software, and anyone who's even recently joined us, this is like my baby. And so if you tell me, I could use more buttons, don't be surprised if a week or two from now, they show up. So if you need more buttons, you let me know. We've done some very cool things. I would say that half of everything you see here has come directly from user suggestions. So please feel free to let us know. Okay. Next step, we're still on the getting set up process. And the thing that I usually like to get people to do next is set up what we call the onboarding package. The philosophy of ClickCoach is that every single thing that leaves this system and is sent to your client is fully and completely customizable. Even the subject line of what goes out. These are called onboarding packages because traditionally coaches, after they sign a new client and they're in an engagement, send an onboarding package. So let's take a quick look. Your onboarding package, welcome aboard. And by the way, you could add as many as you want, and you'll see why that's important in a minute. So in this onboarding package, you might have videos you want your client to watch. They may be behind the firewall. They could be on YouTube. Doesn't matter. Add as many as you want. You just keep clicking this button until you run out of space, which you won't. And bottom line is you could add tons and tons of them. You could also upload anything you want as well. Next, you get to name the subject line of the email that goes out to your client. If you have maybe an admin who keeps track of these things for you, you could put that in there too. Now we have the actual email itself. It looks kind of plain here, but that's up to you. You could add images, you could add tables, you could add videos, you could add links. Anything you want can go into this space. The other thing is that everything that says that's in brackets is a placeholder. So if let's say I wanted to add another message and say, insert client first name tag here. So I could say something along the lines of, and client name, don't forget, I am here if you need me. So anything you want to put in here, it will put in there for you. But then you might say to yourself, well, okay, I've made a lot of changes. I don't know what it's going to look like. That's why there's a preview button. So you click the preview button and there it is. And John Paul, don't forget, I am here if you need me. So all of what you see here, and again, this is just basically how it looks. Not necessarily exactly what's going to be in it. It's how it looks. And you'll see why, again, that shows up over and over again. What I've just shown you is a consistent theme throughout the platform. Before I move on, does everybody see how this works? Are there any questions? Good. Okay, so I'm going to cancel out of this.
Do we have to make this whole thing is white labeled, which is wonderful, and thank you. Do we have to make any special provisions to make sure the email comes from us and not from your platform?
Oh, the email will come from you at clickcoach.io. However, under settings, we have something called SMTP. Now, we are having some difficulty working with Google and Gmail because of their 2FA system, but almost every other email works absolutely perfectly. So I highly recommend that you use it if you have it, or frankly, our email deliverability is better than yours, believe it or not. We have a professional email server on the other side of this, and okay. And so bottom line is that you have to decide whether it's okay or not. I use the ClickCoach email as well as I would say 90% of our clients. Okay. So next, what we're going to do is we're still in the customization phase. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to homework terminology. Now, again, you can add as many homework templates as you want by clicking on Add New Template. But let's edit mine just so you could sort of see what it looks like. So here's my template. And this is kind of the way I like it set up. And at first, it might look a little weird because there's not a lot of text. There's just a bunch of blocks, right? However, the blocks indicate the data that will be placed inside of this particular report. We call it the homework report. And you could click preview and sort of see what it looks like. And you can see that here we have notes, homework, accountability questions, login, answer your homework, comments and questions, stats, and our next meeting date is scheduled here. Any attachments are here as well, and even the client report as well. So all of this is part of what you send. Now, you could say to somebody, could say to someone on your team, by the way, would you please put a reminder in the homework that we're going to have our annual meeting coming up next week? So all you got to do is go anywhere you want, go right here, make a space and say, and remember, next week is the meeting. And now at this point, again, you could check it when you click preview, it should be there. Remember, next week is the meeting. So it's all here. The goal here is to make this completely the way you want it. Like before, there's this little 3 dots here called the action menu. You click on the 3 dots and you could drop blocks directly into wherever your cursor was when you clicked on the 3 dots. So let's get rid of the 3 dots for a minute and let's go down to the very end and say, okay, client report. And you might just want to say something like, let's just put the coach's name down here. So we say down here, insert, I could find it, coach name tag, and say, looking forward to our next session. And then the coach name is there. Again, if you click preview, you'll be able to see that at the very bottom, including my spelling mistakes. So it's all here for you. Our goal is to get you to make this look exactly the way you want. If you have a special announcement, this is where we're going to go a little off script for a minute here. I'm going to cancel out of this, go back to this level here. Now, remember I told you that you could have as many templates as you want. If you have multiple coaches, you can create a homework template for each coach. In fact, each coach can pretty much create their own. So there's going to be a lot of reasons why over time you want multiple templates in all of these screens. So we set up our homework, we set up our onboarding package. The next thing I like to take people through is how to set up the accountability questions. So accountability questions, your system should have about 100 questions in it. And these are questions that I've collected over the years and some of my coaches have as well. And you can grab any one of these things. There you go. You could drag them around any way you want and put them in any order you want, same as this. See what your questions here. So having them show up the way you want is totally up to you. Now, under Tony Robbins, you can edit Tony's questions if you want and make them your own. If you have your own questions, they come under here, under your My Questions. So these are called categories. These are obviously your questions. So if we go to Manage Accountability Categories, you can add as many categories as you want by clicking the plus button. So once you add a category, let's go back, you can then add a question and have it choose the category you want to ask. So under My Questions, if I wanted to add a new question, I would simply type it in and it would show up under the list of My Questions. So far, so good? Okay. Notice this little thing right here. It looks like a little chat window. Just wanted to make sure you saw that because that's going to become important in a minute. Okay, let's keep going up the...
Do you have a question? Mitch, for those of us who are slow and clumsy typists and have gotten used to dictating our emails, texts, whatever, is possible in the system to dictate?
Well, I love this tool. It's called Whisper Flow. I don't know if you ever heard of it before.
No.
Let me show it to you real quick. It's kind of fun. So if I go here,
If I'm the only one, Mitch, I don't want to distract everybody else from my silly question. I
silly
think
question. It's a great question because it's about efficiency. So let's go here. But before, okay, I'll get to you in 1 second, Bill. Any other questions about accountability questions? Any comments or questions? Okay. All right. So notice now we've covered that. And now for the most part, we are ready to import our clients and start setting them up. Yeah.
It looks like
next-
Mitch,
Okay.
it looks like Lean had a question here posted in the chat. Can ClickCoach translate into other languages? Can you create your own category? Sorry, I thought I'd just jump in there because I saw Lean raise her hand, but I don't think you got to see her. So
No, you're right. I didn't. And thank you. You can create as many categories as you want. And as the software will accommodate other languages, but it's not available in other languages, if that makes sense. That means the menus on the left will all be in English. Unless there's an app that would translate that for you. We don't do that. That's not part of the system right now. Maybe we'll be. Any other questions before I continue? Okay. All right. So, Bill, I want to show you something. I'm going to choose a client here, my favorite fictitious client, Jane. And this is where you will spend most of your time. It's going to be inside the session screen. Now, one of the things about the session screen is that we've really tried to make this like the fewest clicks, the fewest mouse movements as possible, just to fit your workflow. But one of the things I want to show you here is Whisper Flow. So if I go down here and I click Whisper Flow, and I see this is a demonstration of exactly how you can take spoken text and turn it into language. Okay, so that's how I do it. Whisper Flow is maybe a $8 or $9 a month application. So, and just to be clear, it's Whisper Flow AI, I think. But so I highly recommend you use that if that's what you want to do. But I'm with you. I'd rather speak than type any day, although I'm a very, very fast typist. Okay, so on this screen, I'm going to take you through what this screen is about. You have your client up here. You have your local time and session time, and you could change this if you want. Now, the reason you can change it is two reasons. Number one is because if you coach off-site and you come back later and you want to type in your notes and you want to happen to just make sure that you're keeping track of your own session time, and that's kind of what you do. You just edit, stop it, edit, and then put in the time you want, and it saves. Notes have the same exact characteristics as everything else that we talked about. The three dots give you more options. It's kind of like a basic word processor in both of these windows. And sneak peek coming up quite soon, we are adding AI cleanup to both of these notes. So you could sort of have typos and mistypes and everything else. AI will clean it up and arrange it nice for you, just like you probably already do now anyway. And that will be available in both these windows and a few others as well.
great.
Go ahead. Good. So going further down the screen now is really where a lot of the action happens. But before we're going to coach Jane, I'm going to just tell you my scenario and again, why I built it this way. So there was a point where I was coaching back to back, like hour after hour after hour. I had a client. And what I was having trouble with is in between sessions, I had to check and see what I had told my client last week, whether they did their homework, whether they filled in their stats, whether they answered their accountability questions. And I found myself chasing all over my desktop in 5 applications, trying to figure that out. What I decided to do instead is make it as easy as 2 clicks. So click number 1 is this. Here's last week's session with Jane. I could read the whole session. I could see her accountability questions. I could see what she answered them. And I could also see if she had any comments as well. So all of this I was able to see just by clicking that one past session link. The other thing is, and I know we haven't gotten into this much yet, but we're going to, is that if I want to see her stats, What are stats? Stats are goals, numeric goals, which you get to set. I click here. I click statistics graphs. And now I could see whether she filled in her stats last week and how she's doing. So in a matter of 1 to 2 minutes, I'm fully prepared for my client engagement.
Nice.
That's the power of why I wanted to do that. I needed it all in one place, one browser window, everything in one spot, easily accessible, even in the throes of doing my work. So I would
I
have
have a
done it.
question.
Mhm.
So I have a question on this session, just maybe I missed it. So let's say I'm having a conversation on Zoom with people because that's how we normally do our coaching. So
Sure.
if I have a conversation with them on Zoom, am I cutting and pasting the notes into here, or is there an integration, or how's that all work?
Right now, there's no integration, and yes, you are cutting and pasting your notes in. But
Okay.
one of the things on the roadmap is we want to build Zoom directly into ClickCoach. So we're hoping that maybe in the next 3 months or so, there'll be a small window here up top, and you'll be able to see your client directly inside the ClickCoach platform. And your client will be able to open up their client portal and have their coaching session with you as well.
Okay.
That's
Thank you
good
for answering that question.
Can I ask, can you just go back one slide? You had a graph and some charts.
Yeah, sure. So let's go here. This is your stats and goals. And I'm going to click here to show you the stats, the stats and goals output. So what this means is that my client Jane came here, into her client portal, and she entered her stats for the week. Now, when I work with a client, one of the requirements is you do the work. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's actually the case. If you don't do the work-
Doesn't.
If you don't do the work, I ain't going to coach you. It's that simple. I'll turn you down for the session if you didn't do your homework. I don't want to waste your time and my time. But if you did do the work, I want to see it, and I want to see it before I start the session. So that's why I do that. Now, you can customize the name of every single one of these stats. The other thing is that let's say you don't need all 6, but you need 3. When you do that, you only see 3. So the bottom line is that you get to choose how many you have and pretty much how it looks. Now, I'm going to digress for just a moment. Let's say that you have a very specific type of coaching business. Let's say you're dealing with the same business model, the same type of clients, and for the most part, with every client, you're tracking the same stats. You can go here and click Set Universal Names for Goals and Stats, and you can change them once, and they will ripple through the system and show up now for all of your clients, new clients as well. Now, you could still go in and change them for a specific client if you want, but the universal element of it means you only have to name them once. Okay, let's go back here to the session screen. And here we go. Okay. So one other thing that's super important, and this is something for multi-organizations, but a lot of my solo coaches use it too. We have this thing called private notes. Private notes is a little button here. It's not even labeled. In case you share your screen for some reason with your client, I don't want them to see the words private notes. So right here, if you click on this, you have a place to add private notes. Now, you could add private notes. You could add a lesson plan. You could add survey results, assessment results. Anything you want can be brought into this private note field, and you can save it. It cannot be exported. It will not show up anywhere else. And here's the cool feature. If you have 2 or more coaches assigned to Coach Jane, all of your coaches for Jane will be able to access her private notes. So you could pass messages coach to coach about your client. That's why I built it. That's what it's for. Okay. While you're coaching, or at least while I'm coaching, many times I want to change the accountability questions on the fly. So first of all, I want to see, what questions have I already asked them? Okay, good. Yeah, we don't need this one anymore. We don't need this one anymore, but I like to put in some questions from Jim Rohn. So here we go. I'm going to add this one from Jim Rohn. I'm going to add this one from the problem solving challenges thing. And now I'm confused. So, well, I've just added questions for like 5 different categories. How do I know what questions are going to show up for the client? You say, click the button, show selected questions, and here's everything you see. Now, if you're watching closely and quick, when I click this OK button, you're going to watch them all rearrange themselves on the screen. Here we go. Oh, didn't see it. I didn't scroll it up far enough. But the bottom line is that the second you click OK, you now have your new questions here. You're not expected to ask your clients their accountability questions and then be their secretary and type in the answers, but it's here if you want to do that. So that's why we left that open. Okay, so just to review, we've taken notes, we've assigned homework, we've changed our accountability questions. Now we want to simply do is we want to schedule our next meeting. Well, I want to access my calendar first. So you can go here, pull up your calendar. Once you have a date, suggest it to a client. Once you have that date selected, whatever that may be, pick a date and pick a time, schedule. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to add this to the homework report and to your calendar if you click the Add to Calendar button. Okay, so as you can see, we're working our way through towards the end of the session now. And if you have as before, you could always drop it in here. If you have a recording like from Zoom or Fathom, you would pop it in here. Now you need to make a few decisions. Do I want to send the client portal access to this client, this session, this client? I would say yes, and you saw before under the universal settings that you had enabled client portal. I'm going to get to that in a second. Do I want to include notes, not private notes, notes? So I like to have both notes and assignments separate, and they show up in separate sections on the homework email. Do I want to include stats? Yes. Do I want to include a client report? Client report is a PDF of the actual homework report. Some clients like to print them out. That's why we put that there. Do I want to include accountability questions? Yes. Do I have anything upload? Do I have a PDF? Do I have a mind map? Do I have a video? Do I have anything I want to upload? I think there's a 5 megabyte limit or something, but I click that. Now I get to choose the homework template I want. If I had entered any data in here, I would click show preview and you'd see it. This is next step. This is very, very critical. As I told you before, I was working back to back with clients. When I finished with one client, I didn't have time to edit or sometimes even change the accountability questions. I had to go on to the next client. So what I did not want to do was click send homework now. What I do want to do is I want to click Save and Close Session. And when I click Save and Close Session, watch what happens. It's going to say, oh yeah, okay, I didn't enter enough stuff. It's basically going to say, are you ready to start your next session right away? And if I say yes, that database record, your session is saved, but not sent. So later, when I go back here, and it's after 5, and I want to edit Jane's session and send her a homework, that's when I go down here. Let's choose a different one down here. And I say, okay, here's the homework. I'm going to edit it. So I can, just like the full editor, I have everything I want to edit, accountability questions, everything I want. And then if I'm ready, I could say, send homework now. So this is kind of a valuable feature for me because that means I don't have to finish the cleanup of each homework email at the exact minute I'm done with it. I can come back later and do it but still saving it in the system. This is a little bit of a complex page. Any questions about this so far?
Just a comment first and then a question. Mitch, you've obviously put so much time in this, and I certainly appreciate all the thoughtfulness, and the rigor of this is pretty remarkable. So big shout out to you, Mitch. Question for you earlier. It's a multi-layered question. Earlier, you talked about deliverability. ClickCoach does a better job than our email systems. You mentioned Google. I have a custom email with my company name, bill@standoutexec.com. I was going to have that with Microsoft. Microsoft has been frustrating me right now because they don't have any tech support anymore. So I'm not
Right.
sure about that. But what about deliverability? This is the first question. What about deliverability for Microsoft emails?
Microsoft should work fine. As long as you get your credentials right,
Right.
it should work fine. And that's what I mean. You should set up with SMTP. And again, I have never heard a complaint about setting up SMTP with Microsoft, but I hear it about Google all the time. So,
Okay.
and then
Yes.
it's still possible with Google, but you got to find a way to disable your 2FA, and you have to have a window where there's just no, other than the password, there's no other credentials. Then once you get it set up, I'm pretty sure it's set and you won't have to worry about it. You can re-enable 2FA.
Okay. Thank you. Next question is yours is, I think I asked this originally, maybe before I even joined Mitch. Yours, you don't consider yours a CRM, even though it has some CRM kinds of features. The question, that's the departure point to this question. So much new client interaction requires email. I just invested a substantive amount in what looks to be a pretty remarkable, hopefully, email engine, an automated one. And I'm going to be using that to bring in new clients with nurture campaigns over 30 days and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not sure how that integrates either here or honestly with Mike Filsame's Groove program, which I had an additional question about in a second. But how does email and email nurturing play into this, if at all? And if not yours, does it play into Mike's?
Yeah, it plays into Mike's system. So you could think of ClickCoach as everything that happens after the sale is made. So
After the
before
sale?
the sale is made, that's CRM, that's you'll be focused. And Mike has promised us 2 free training sessions and 6 custom coaching templates inside of Groove that everybody gets for free as well. So
Mhm.
we're going to talk to him hopefully later today and we'll nail that down. But that's already
Right.
promised. That's already coming.
I'm glad it's promised, but my question is, and I'm not sure if I'm the only one in this call, I've had confusion about Mike's follow. And soon after I signed up with you and I was excited about your partnership with Mike, then I get this email where I had to spend another significant amount of money to get involved in what I thought was Groove. And now he's calling it, I think, something else, which I paid for. Say again,
Scale.
Scale. So I don't know why, a little frustrated that Mike would, get us to sign up with his program. And then literally within a week or two, he's asking us to sign up for another more expensive program. And I know there was a discount involved for Scale, but am I the only one who's confused by that on this call?
No, you're not, I'm
No,
sure. But
no.
yeah, so I know other people are too, but here's my understanding. So Groove is still what it was, always has been effectively a basic CRM, a page
Yeah.
builder, automation, email automation, anything that relates to prospecting you could do in Groove. Scale is an AI platform for creation. And you don't need Scale, but it's very cool. And there's a lot of great features in it. And you would probably need to spend some time learning it, but you could do some amazing things with Scale. ClickCoach is a separate company platform. Yes, Mike is my partner, but I own the product and I
Right.
am partnering with Mike. And so he offered to help me by putting me on his checkout page, which is likely where you made the click and bought ClickCoach. So,
No, actually, it's not. I don't
Oh,
think. But no, I was impressed with you. I had not followed Mike for a lot of years, but I was impressed with you, I think, before I realized that you two guys were even partners. Anyway, so I mean, you're both terrific. I don't mean to gripe about it, but it was a little frustrating. I did sign on because it looked like it was an amazing tool.
yeah.
I'll have to ask Mike about how I incorporate a specialized email marketing automated thing, which is so powerful. Maybe he
Yeah.
has something similar. I doubt it, but I'll check in with him on that. Thanks for
Okay. And
Mitch, just a heads up, there are several questions that are being posted in the chat and everything that you haven't had a chance to get to. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that they're there.
thank you. I'm going to get them right now. So Lauren asks, the Scale GG is providing a challenge for me. Okay, yes, I agree. I'm with you there. Nikki asks, is there a secure place to share documents? Coming soon. Right now, we don't have one, but you can send it. And I'll show you that in a minute. I also have to collect a ton of personal data for my clients that currently use a Google Drive. I don't like it. Okay, that's fine. I get it. And we'll give you a file storage place as well. I'm working right now with Mike to figure out how big we can make it. I would like it big, like Trump, really, really big. It's going to be a beautiful place. Anyway, we want to add that for you, and we will. I just need a little bit of time. So if you haven't noticed, you probably noticed my enthusiasm, number one. Number two, you also might notice that so much more is now possible because of my partnership with Mike. So what
Yeah.
Mike is teaching me and what I'm now doing is I am very shortly going to take over all the development of ClickCoach myself. And I'm not a programmer. I haven't been a programmer for almost 40 years. However, using AI, I can pretty much vibe code, if you've heard that term, and pretty much do anything I want in ClickCoach. So if I say, add 3 more fields I have to put in a screenshot and show it. So you add 3 more buttons to the client portal. So yes, Mitch, and 5 minutes later, I have it completely coded, bug-free, ready to go. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get into it. So things like a file storage area, my goodness, that probably should take like a minute. I don't know. But we're going to get to all these things. But here's my most valuable tip. Whenever you make a suggestion to me, particularly in a live meeting like this, I'm not taking notes. So you'll need to follow up either by sending a note to support@clickcoach.io. And Nikki, you can tell me anything you want me to do, and I'll try my best to get it done for you. The only time I will say no to a client wanting to add a feature is if it doesn't benefit the majority of the users or adds complication that I think would be unnecessary. That would be the only case where I would not add something that somebody asks for. Okay, so we're almost there. I want to quickly get to our next step here. And that's, like I said before, we did some editing. We sent our email. And now let's take a look and see if we could find, hold on. I want to make sure we have Jane here. Where I show you my messy email. Can we?
Just one other question. Is
Sure.
there an autosave function in here? That was my
Oh, thank you for asking. Yes, there's an autosave function. In fact, the autosave works so well, it's going to remind you if you have an unsaved session. So if you have an unsaved session, you're going to get a notice that says, please save this session. I'm sorry, I thought I had this ready to go. Here we go. Okay. So, well, one more time. Okay. I'm looking for the feedback, the homework I sent to Jane. Okay. So here we go. So I ran my session with Jane and I sent her an email. I changed the color since I did this. And this is what Jane sees after my coaching session with her. Hi, Jane. Blah, blah, blah. Here's your notes. Here's what you asked for. Here's an example. Here's your login credentials. Here's your assignment. Here's your accountability questions. Here's your goals and stats, a link to the recording, and a password to the recording as well, plus your client report. So I think this will work. If you click on client report, basically what it does is it gives you, like I said, a PDF of the homework itself, which some clients really, really like. Oops, I think I lost it. Let's try it again. Okay, hate when I do that. Here we go. All right, but notice here on the homework, there's a login credentials part. So let's see what happens if we click on this. Okay, and so now you get your white labeled client portal. So it says powered by ClickCoach, very small on the lower left, your brand, your colors, and now your client is going to log in. Lauren, you have a question? Lauren?
No, sorry, hit the wrong button.
No problem. Okay, so it's through here and passwords. So now Jane is signing in to her client portal. So this is the first time you're seeing this. You've seen it on the inside the application, but now you're seeing it the way the client sees it. So Jane opens up her client portal, thinks to herself, wow, that was a great coaching session. I want to get my homework done. But before I do that, I want to book a call with Mitch, blah, blah, blah. So here you go, and she gets to do that. So let's say, okay, we don't want that. We don't want that. Okay. So these buttons, just to illustrate, you could use these buttons any way you want. So if you think about what this really is this is sort of a to-do list for Jane. So the first thing she wants to do is go in here and enter her stats. Whatever those stats will be, she's going to numerically enter them. And once she does, she's going to save them. And then she might want to say, okay, well, what do my stats look like today? Okay, good. All right, fine. So she entered her stats. Next thing is I want to do my homework. So I'm going to go here, and this is my last session with Mitch. And so here's my notes. Here's my accountability questions. Here's my assignment. And now I want to provide some coach feedback because I thought this session was really great. So I'm going to give Mitch 5 stars. And I'm going to say, by the way, Jane is the only one who always consistently gives me 5 stars. You're the best. Okay. And now she did that. But I could still go back. Let's go back here, past sessions. I could still go back and do my homework. So what does doing my homework mean? It means add your comments. So right here, I could say, okay, let's see here. Create your episode plan 2. The name is George. I'm going to edit this and say 3, my hosting team whole quit. Now I have good news. Okay. And I update. Now I updated the homework and I left it right here. I didn't have to do anything else. Next, I want to answer my accountability questions. So here is where I get to answer my accountability questions. I am still without power from the store. So bottom line is that she's basically, well, by the way, just that you see what I did there, I just clicked on it and they corrected the spelling. I use Grammarly and it works across all platforms. Highly recommend it. So now at this point, if she says save, I go on, I am exercising more. So I'm actually trying to do this so I can have some content to show you in a minute. So I'm answering all the questions. So now I'm done. So now I go back to the dashboard and I say, well, okay, first of all, Mitch sent me a bill. I want to pay the bill. So I go here and I enter the amount I need to pay. And then obviously at that point, I paid the bill. I also have courses that are assigned to me. So I could start and take the course here, whether I paid for, whether it's free. It's all available right here in my client portal. So for the most part, you've seen everything that the client portal does. It's very simple. It's not designed to be very functional other than for exactly what our clients need. Any questions on the client portal before we move on?
Is there a limit or as far as like how many clients I can have in the portal or anything like that? Or is there like a tiered structure? Is it just the one price and then, if that happens or?
Okay, so let me explain that by showing you going back to the software itself. So you can add as many clients as you can. There may be a limit. I don't know. Is it 10,000? I don't know. We've never tried to set a limit or hit one. So we're not quite sure, but there's no limit to the number of clients you could load into the system. The only restraint of the number of coaches. So if you add coaches to your organization, you're going to pay per coach for a subscription. It's just that simple.
Following on that, do we have to pay for, if we have a VA, not a fledged coach, but somebody is helping us manage this and other platforms?
We just encourage you to share your login with your VA. We don't have a separate VA login tool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But you can't be coaching at the same time the VA is,
Fair enough.
doing their thing. Okay.
Fair enough. And,
All right.
and I would just do a quick shout out. If we're going to help each other, I'm talking to the other people on this webinar. I'm searching for an affordable, low cost, maybe from the Philippines or something like that, VA, who's skilled in marketing things. If anybody has any ideas, I'm Bill Howe, Howe, and my email is bhowe212@outlook.com, and I'll put that in the chat.
Drop it in the chat. Yeah. Very good.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So for the most part, I think I've shown you the entire session screen. One of the things we didn't talk about was clients yet, or groups. So let's get into groups. Now, I'm sure everybody here coaches individual clients, but some of us might have a mastermind or might have a group coaching program, might have several. And the whole idea is that when you, let's say you do an enrollment period and you bring 10 new clients in for a group coaching program. So you click on Manage Groups and you click Add a Group. And all you got to do at this point is name it. So let's call it the ClickCoach New Group, just so that in case I forget the name, you'll remind me. So, okay, so we've named the new group called the ClickCoach New Group. We click submit here and save it. And there it is, ClickCoach Sawyer to ClickCoach New Group. All right, so now, next step is we want to bring all of those new enrollees into the system. And what I want to do is make it as easy as possible. So we're going to go to Manage Clients, and we're going to say Import. And now all you need to do is decide whether you want to send your onboarding package to this new group or not. If it's yes, you choose which onboarding package that you want to send, and you just where you want to put this whole new group of clients. Let's see if we could find the ClickCoach New Group at the very bottom. There you go. So all we have to do here is upload a CSV file exactly formatted this way: first name, last name, email, phone. And does anybody here not know what a CSV file is? Just say yes or no. Okay, everybody does. Great. So you upload your CSV file here, and now when you click this import button, it's going to do all this work for you. It's going to send every one of those people the onboarding package. It's going to create a new group for you. And by the way, you can create a new group without having to go to groups first, and put them all in that group. And then at that same point, they're all going to show up in your client list as well. So now let's say you're working with Brian, and Brian, a great client. We had a lot of fun together, but truth is that we're no longer working together. So I can archive him. Now, when I archive him, it takes him off the main client list, but at the same time, I now know where he is. So we have 3 categories, and you're about to see exactly why I bring this up. If now we go to start a new session, we get the 3 categories right here. Let's choose groups. Now we could choose any group we want, right? And now notice they're all up here. So I could see all of the people in this group in this session. So now, just as before, you open up a Zoom window, you start your coaching call, you do your training, and this is for me the magic of why I wanted this particular feature. After I'm done with the training, after I send the homework, instead of everybody getting the identical login, everybody is getting an individual client portal login for their own stuff. So that means everybody's going to get the same homework, but at the same time, they answer their own accountability questions, they enter their own stats, and they do their own homework individually, even though they're in the group. So that's the power of the group system that we've put into ClickCoach. Now, one other thing is, I told you before that this little red dot here was going to indicate activity. Well, Jane posted comments. Remember when we were doing it before? Let's take a look. Yeah, here's the comments that she posted. So what we've done basically is we've created a fully 2-way, self-contained coaching environment. Now, all you have to do is coach your clients, run them through the system, have them do their homework inside the platform, and it basically gives you all the tools you need to do that. There's 2 more tools I want to show you real quickly. I know we're getting at the top of the hour, but I also don't let me forget, I also want to do a quick demo for you of Coach Elevation. So does everybody know what Coach Elevation is? Well, it don't matter. Let me show you anyway. So Coach Elevation is a separate app that you get free with ClickCoach. Let's go back here for a second. We're going to go to the billing and payment module. Now, why did I want to build this in? Well, the truth is because I wanted to create courses, and I wanted to charge for those courses. I wanted to set up programs in advance under products and services, and I wanted to be able to create a single action to bill all the clients that are going to be in this program. Now, if they've already paid, you don't need this, but if they buy something else, you do. So what you get to do is you get to choose Stripe, PayPal, or Authorized.net as your payment provider. You then set up your products and services, as I just showed you. You then set up your invoice format, and you could, again, take a quick look here. Make it just like before, anything you want. Do a preview. You can see sort of what it looks like. And then at that point, you can send invoices in bulk. So if I have a group coaching program for $19.97, I could just click as many of the clients on here as I want. I then click the standard billing template and say send invoice. And it's going to send that same invoice to everybody that I clicked on the client list. Now, I can have as many invoice formats as I want. Someone asked about different coaches have different formats. Again, it doesn't matter. You can make as many as you want. Now, what about getting paid? I mean, after all, that's why we do this, right? So if you click on check receipts, ClickCoach is going to go and take a look at all of your payment platforms or the payment platform you've set up and detect whether or not you've been paid. I got a lot of overdue payments to people like fictitious clients and my daughter. She's not going to pay me any of that. So that's out of the question. But anyway, so for the most part, this is pretty much self-contained. The learning modules are also probably a little bit more robust than most people would think, because we let you create courses, we let you create modules within courses, we let you create lessons inside of modules, and quizzes. So that is pretty much, for the most part, everything you need. Somebody asked me if it imports courses. No, but you could pretty much translate a course here very easily using the same tools as you would in any other learning management system. And by the way, your quiz questions get answered by no matter how many clients you have, they'll show up here too.
Okay, I do have a question. Mitch, you showed us the billing capability, but then you mentioned LMS, and I'm wondering, do we think of this Elevation as an LMS and where we can put in our own custom programs, courses, and it's also available I assume that's also available in Mike's program, or maybe not?
Nope. We may merge them at some point, but right now this is a separate system. You name your course, you put in your course description. You have to choose whether it's a free or a paid course. If it's a paid course, and in my case, all my courses are flat million. So you just put that right in there. Put in a Stripe ID. If you set up your product in Stripe, you could set up recurring. It could be monthly, yearly, how many you want. And if you have an intro video, you could place it here too. So this is how you would set up a course.
That's awesome. And you don't take debit cards, credit cards, or PayPal, is that correct?
No, let's go back for a second here to billing and payment.
No, I saw what it offer. Is it on the product roadmap to offer other forms?
We have Stripe, PayPal, and Authorized.net, all of which your clients will use a credit card to pay you.
Got it. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Any other questions before we continue? All right. Good. All right. So let's go back. Let's do reporting. So reporting, there's a few new reports here, or one new report, and a few others that are useful. So I was on with a client who has many coaches in their organization, and they said, we don't know if our coaches are sending onboarding packages or not, onboarding reports or not. Do you have a way for us to see that? And I said, we don't. So we created the onboarding report. So the onboarding report is effectively a list of all the onboarding reports you sent or onboarding packages that you've sent. Now, the other thing that we have is the feedback report. My favorite report in the system, because why? I get to see how much Jane likes me. And every time she's so nice to me, gives me 5 stars. So I get to see this for all my coaches, all my clients, all my coaches. Again, helps a lot. I could also enter date range if I want. The two main reports, and I would say the coach productivity report is probably the most important one for coaches. I'm sorry, let's go to the client productivity one first. Because what you're going to see is you're going to see all your clients here as a coach. Any client has drop down, and when you click on that, you could see, like for Mitch, all the clients that Mitch has coached. And for any one of these, you could click on the down arrow again and see all the sessions that Mitch has coached. And you could even look at any individual session and
Wow.
see exactly what Mitch said. If there's a recording link, I could even listen in to the session that my coach had with this client. So the next report, called the Coach Productivity Report, does the same thing, but solves another problem. In multiple coach organizations, I might have multiple coaches coaching the same client. Well, we never had a report that rolled all of that up until now. So that there is the report. And again, it works exactly the way I just showed you. Any questions before I go to the next one? Okay. So
I seem to be the only, I'm sorry, Mitch, I seem to be the only one with questions here. The two questions. One, is there a place where we solicit feedback so we know how we're doing day by
Yep.
day?
Yep.
You don't have to show me. All I need to know is it's there. That's great.
Yeah.
Also, was my other, oh, for those of us offering money back guarantees, in my case, it's, 110%. Can you handle that in this billing framework?
You'd have to go to the platform to issue a refund. So yeah, it's almost the same in every program. We don't handle the refund here, but you can archive the client after that manually and you're all set.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to go through one or two other things here that are important, but there's really, I think I've covered everything here. You can always click the coach list button and get a list of your coaches, and you could always change things like your own email that you're doing that as well. So I've pretty much shown you the whole system. The other thing I wanted to show you is the Coach Elevation program. So some of you may know that I wrote a book a few years ago and just recently revised it. The name of the book was Coach Elevation. So what Mike decided to do, which I thought was brilliant, was to, let's go back a step here, was to take my book and build an AI platform around the content, the 12 frameworks inside my book. So you could
Love
download
it. Love.
and you get the book for free, and you could download the book as a PDF. In fact, you could here's an idea, download the book, upload it into ChatGPT, and ask me any question you want. So it's right there for you. However, we've done a lot of the work for you. What you're looking at here are the 12 frameworks from the book. So my most popular framework is called First Session Mastery. Now, the reason I did this is because over many years, I figured out how to structure the perfect 2-hour introductory session to get the most out of the client engagement. And what this does, I'm certainly not going to read it to you. Minute by minute, it breaks down what I do. And it allows you, using AI, to make any changes you want to your own system and create your own first session mastery. It's all here for you. It's all AI, very, very powerful. And you should have gotten a separate login, and it does come free. If you haven't gotten your login for this, please let me know, and I will make sure to get it for you. And I think I'm done. Unless there's any other questions I can answer, any other concerns.
Where was the book download? I missed that.
Oh, sure. Let's go.
I'm on the elevation page, but
See here, it has your name down there.
thank you.
We also built a AI user guide. So you can, in fact, I've never even, the AI built it. I don't think I've ever really looked at it. So here it is. You can, it's kind of operating just like the AI, which is great. In fact, you can look at this. You can upload your own files too. Wow. Cool.
So this is like your GPT that you're sharing with us based on chapters in your book.
Yes, exactly. Based on chapters in my book and based on ChatGPT's knowledge of me. So you're actually getting kind of that too. Let's see. Anna
Awesome.
sent you a contact form. Oh, okay, good. All right.
Oh, thank you. William?
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else? Robin, nice to see you here. Thank you for showing up. Any other questions? Happy to answer them. We still have a few minutes if you like.
William
I
Green.
think what, go ahead.
William Green, thank you for sending me that. And Mitch, I haven't actually started the course yet. I've been sidetracked by a lot of things here personally, but this is remarkable stuff. I don't impress easily, and I'm so impressed. So thank you for all the hard work, just the great deal of thought, ingenuity, pain, suffering, whatever you've been through.
It's all been, it's been a joy. I must tell you, I love doing this. As you could tell, I'm very enthusiastic about it. I think coaches are the greatest people ever, and I love to serve them. That's what I do.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. It's awesome and good job. Thanks for this. And then will we get a recording of this session at all or?
You certainly will.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely review it and stuff like that. So
Okay.
thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
You're very welcome, William. Thank you for joining us. All right, guys. Well, one more thing. I'm going to take 30 seconds and plug my book. So I'm a new fiction author. If you like transformational magical fiction, that's my book, Sacred Crossroads. Buy it and give me a great review, and I'll love you forever. Okay, guys? Thank you, everybody. Thank you for attending. Hopefully, you'll let me know if you have any additional questions or need any extra help. Bye now.